Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 90 of this awesome, amazing Osu Let's Play series. In the last episode, I showed off Laser's multiplayer feature and some unique features that exist in it. And in this episode, I want to take a look at two user groups that exist in this game, the Beatmap Nominators and another group named the Nomination Assessment Team. These are the groups of people responsible for ranking maps, putting maps in the ranked category that we all know. And I will talk a bit about those people and sort of what their role is. I'll talk a little bit about their history and my personal thoughts on the groups. Admittedly, I am not super involved in the mapping world, but I will try to give my thoughts on sort of what I am aware of regarding those groups. And by the way, if you are very engaged in the mapping world and you're watching this just to see what I have to say, I would suggest that you also make a video about this. Please, because I think people need to hear the truth from you guys, right? But yes, anyway, before I get into the actual video, I'd like to shout out as usual that I live stream every single day over at twitch.tv. So that will be linked in the description. But if you want to hang out with me or watch me play this game live or ask me questions, anything like that, please stop by, say hello. And also, bonus points if you tell me that you came from this Let's Play series. We'll be very happy to see you. So, yes, please stop by. You guys are awesome. But anyway, so before I get into actually playing any maps, I'd like to take you all to the wiki, Osu wiki, and down here we have two pages that we're going to be looking at. Beatmap nominators. Okay, so these are the people that are responsible for going through the pending maps, which are the maps that are not ranked yet, but they are, being actively updated by the creator. And well, it says here primarily for modding pending maps. So modding means that you go to the Beatmaps modding page. Modding is basically critiquing. Like you look through the map and you give feedback on what can be improved, things like that. And then also approving those maps into the what's called ranking cycle. Okay, I don't know why it's called ranking cycle. Very interesting. But anyway, um, it also says that BMAP nominated. Okay, they're called BNs. I'm not gonna call them BN. Okay, BN. Okay. So BNs are also the people. So basically, if you want to get your map ranked, or if you want to, get advice about your map in order for it to get ranked, then ideally you talk to a BN. That is much easier said than done because there are. Let me scroll down. Actually, there's a list. So there's quite a few BNs, but there's a lot more players in this game, and also these people also have their own lives to live. And this okay, so a lot of people sort of talk about the BN group as like their responsibilities is sometimes actually a lot of work just to stay maintained. Like I think it's like you need to have like a minimum amount of activity like each month in order to stay as a BN. And also keep in mind that like Osu contribution like this is entirely voluntary. So sort of volunteer, like none of these people are really getting paid to be a BN. It's just, on their own volition, things just sort of that they like to do for fun. But um, yeah, with that in mind, so BNs, okay, so that's just sort of a general overview. If you're interested, so basically, if you're new or if you are, it uses the word concerning here. I guess that's a decent word to use. Um, but you can basically be put on probation, which means that you're being monitored more so than usual. And basically, if your activity is dropping, or if your nominations frequently get like basically disqualified, like when a map before a map is ranked, it's qualified, right? So if a map is qualified and then it gets unqualified to fix an issue, then that's on you for qualifying a map that had an issue, right? So um, that it's the BNs who like have that happen frequently enough that they might either go on probation basically, or they might actually get kicked from the group entirely. So, same poor behavior, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay, I think you guys sort of get the idea. So, um, so the other page that we want to look at is the nomination assessment team. So, very briefly, these are basically the managers of the BNs. So, they are also able to nominate maps, but they don't have a minimum number of nominations that they need to make. yeah, it says here, NET members are not expected to nominate maps regularly due to having additional responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. Basically, they're responsible for making sure that the ranking criteria is up to date, things like that. And basically just making sure that, they're also responsible for like making sure that BNs are doing their jobs, right? So they're basically managers. So, and notice there's a lot less of them. And also this page is grouped by emode also, but yeah, obviously a lot less here. So yes, that I think is that. So a couple of my own, and obviously if you're very interested in the nitty gritty, then I will have both of those pages linked in the description. But let's sort of talk about my own personal thoughts. Why do I have autopilot? my own personal thoughts on the different groups. So I think a lot of there's a large social element when it comes to getting your maps ranked. Like I mentioned, it's sometimes very hard to get in touch with Beatmap Nominator, BN, but I think just there's a lot of like circles of like BNs that sort of like are sort of close with specific mappers or like only nominate specific kinds of songs. And if you are a mapper of those specific kinds of songs, then you have a much higher chance of like your map getting looked at by those BNs. Usually if you look at a BN's user page, then they might have some sort of like criteria for like checking certain maps. Because otherwise, like every single mapper who, admittedly, not every mapper who is looking for a BN to look at their map, they're not all good mappers. Like some of them are just very beginner. Obviously, okay, just because you're not a good mapper now doesn't mean that you don't have the potential to be a good mapper. But like me, for example, I wouldn't even consider myself that good of a mapper to actually rank maps. So if I were to make a map and try to rank it, then a lot of BNs might feel like they're just wasting their time looking at my map, because like sometimes someone is so bad at something that you don't even know where to start to give them feedback. So a lot of BNs have very strict, or at least somewhat strict, guidelines for checking your map. Like some BNs will only look at your map to rank for rank if you have some rank maps already, and that might sound kind of counterintuitive. It's like trying to get an entry-level job where the requirements are that you have work experience, and it's like this is supposed to be my first job, right? So yeah, but hopefully it kind of makes sense. I think the BNs, it's not like it's their full-time job to look at a bunch of people's maps and give feedback, right? So it is obviously a responsibility that they take on, but definitely okay, so I also mentioned some BNs I think prefer looking at certain songs, and that's actually really important. I think there's some BNs that everyone has their own taste and personal preferences. So I think the good thing about having so many BNs though is that there's enough variety of BNs that usually no matter what kind of map you're making, there's some BN who like sort of appreciates that style, for lack of a better term, and they would be willing to nominate that kind of map. That definitely didn't used to be the case. I think there used to be a lot of like very specific what is it, like criteria that and almost like quality assurance like to the max, where wait, why can I not decide the next map? Oh yeah, this one. Okay, let's play this map. This map is so good. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, especially in the past, I think ranking criteria has definitely evolved over the years, and yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I don't think I'm super qualified to talk about the nitty-gritty of the history, but I do know that there have been phases of like super, I guess like really picky criteria, and since then I think with the evolution of the mapping scene over the years, I think things are a little more free now, especially with so many different bands of different styles out there, right? But yeah, I think if you are trying to make a certain kind of map and get it ranked, then try to see what BNs there are that specifically prefer looking at those kinds of maps, I'd say. But yeah, let's see. And you can usually tell by like, if you know a ranked map that's similar to yours, you can check the modding page and see who nominated that map. I should say, I don't know where exactly on the page it says, but I know it does say who nominated the map. Oh, so also you need 2 BNs to, I think, so the first BN, I think, bubbles the map. I think bubbling is like, it like basically flags the map as like, hey, this map is pretty good. Can another BN look at it? And if you also think it's good, then let's get it qualified, basically. Pretty sure that's what bubbling is. And let's see, yeah, so you should be able to see which BNs have done that. And that should hopefully give you a clear way of, you know, knowing what BN to reach out to for your map. But yeah, I think having, okay, Osu is really such a social game. I mean, it's grounded on community, right? So I think just knowing either a BN or like sometimes like a close friend of a BN can really help with getting maps ranked, because sometimes you just have a beast map and no one is willing to look at it. So the world is too cruel sometimes. But oh, look at these streams. Look at that. Oh shoot, all 100s. That is cool. Do I need offset? What's going on? But yeah, there's definitely cases of nominators that only map, or like only nominate from specific mappers, or like only a specific sort of circle or style of mappers. Which, admittedly, like, there's gotta be some BNs for like every type of map, right? Because there's a really wide variety of players in this game, so they all sort of need their fix of different kinds of content, right? So honestly, I think the system we have now is pretty good. So let me think. I think if you want to become, I know, if you want to become a BN, there's like a test you have to take or something, or like some sort of, wait, let me actually see if that's on the wiki also. Let me stop. Oh, stop. Wait. Okay. Okay, let's see. I don't actually know if it's on the wiki. Becoming a beatmap nominator. So yeah, I know that there's like a test you have to take, but okay, I guess it's not here. Okay, that's actually very interesting. Yeah, expectations, general. Oh, okay, becoming. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so obviously you need to be active as a modder, basically, which means, yeah, well, I explained that earlier. Oh my god, wait, there's a score. Wait, what the heck? Wait. Huh? Oh my god. Okay, so you need to meet a minimum score, and then I guess the NAT, the nomination assessment team, are the ones that sort of hire basically new BNs. You know, sort of managing the whole user group of BNs. Okay, I admittedly have never looked too much into this. Oh yeah. So you need to be able to know like if a map has unrankable issues. Yeah, incorrect timing or metadata. Like you need to, yeah. So there's like a basically BN test that you have to take that like tests your ability to do these things, and it's apparently very strict criteria and also like a cutoff score. So yeah, keep that in mind. I don't actually know how to apply though. Oh, applications are on the NET website. Okay, yeah, so there's a website for, a Mappers Guild website. Okay. Yeah, so if you're interested, if you're like, oh yes, I really want to spearhead the ranked category and nominate maps that no one is willing to nominate, and yeah, definitely, you know, it doesn't hurt to apply. Then you can, if you don't get it, then you just apply again later. So yes, let's see. Anything else regarding the BNs? I think there's definitely been a lot of drama in the mapping world remember it's the whole notion of like needing 2 BNs to rank a map was kind of memed on as well in like maps that the general community didn't really like, but there were 2 heat map nominators that decided to nominate it, and then it's like, okay, it just kind of gets ranked. Well, okay, that's not actually true. A map can get qualified, and then if it's really controversial, then it might actually get disqualified, and there's usually a lot of drama. Honestly, mappers, they like using a lot of words when they talk to each other. It's like a fight of like who can put the most words in their little argument messages. Yeah, very interesting world. Honestly, if you enjoy really getting into a rabbit hole, then sort of, I don't know, get into the mapping scene, I guess, because there's a lot going on there. People got egos. People think they're so awesome. Anyway. No, for the most part, I think it's not that bad. Yeah, it used to be worse, so, but I don't know. What do I know? Oh, there's also I can mention quickly the is it mentorship program that is basically some mappers like mentor newbie mappers to like help them improve. I wonder if there's a wiki page about that. I may make a specific episode about that, but okay, probably not. If you're interested in the mentorship program, but let's see, there's probably a website for it. I will see if I can find it and put it in the description. But yeah, hopefully, yeah, mentorship program is sort of separate from the world of BNs. Just, I don't know, it's just a thing that exists. So yes. Anyway, oh, look at these edge hits. I'm crazy. I'm going crazy. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Thank you all for making it to the end of this video. Just a quick little video on the BN system and how that works. Hopefully you found it helpful or useful or informative. And again, I'll have the wiki pages linked in the description. But with that, if you have suggestions for future episodes, please leave them in the comment section. I do read all the comments on these videos. And yeah, check out my other videos. Check out my Twitch streams as well. I stream every day. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.